the previous instructor I had was an absolute bomb scare, and all of a sudden I'm hearing snoring, and I'm looking round and he's sleeping, and I'm like, what the
Right, okay, we're live.
Yep.
We're rolling. In the studio today, we have Alex learning to drive for me at the moment.
Yep.
Thanks very much for coming in, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Right, I'm going to fire some questions at you.
Aye.
Ready?
Yeah, aye.
Right, the first question I like to ask people is, tell me why you decided to learn to drive.
To be honest, I'd never thought about it until maybe 4 years ago. 'Cause I never wanted to drive. It was just, my dad took ill, and then 2022 my dad suddenly passed. So mum was on her own. Mum doesn't drive.
Mm-hmm.
My wife had a stroke the same year, and I felt I had to step up to the plate and try and get through it to help family as much as possible, and that was the main reason behind it.
And before that, had you ever had the notion to learn, or really?
No.
No, never fancied it?
No.
Oh.
I think there was an instant that I remember when I was younger. It scared me.
Right.
I was put on someone's knee in a van, and it was in the motorway. I think I was only 8, and I'm behind the wheel.
Right.
I'll be head for a van, and I was terrified, and that was just no, I couldn't do it.
Put you off?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I imagine that would be quite scary.
So I was just, and as I say, the older I got, I thought, I've got my kids, they're getting older, my wife, my mum. I thought, yeah, I need to do this, for myself,
Right.
I'm at a stage in my life, I've got the confidence. I didn't have the confidence back then, so now it's like, you know what, you've got one shot, let's try and do this. So that's what's gave me the initiative to say, yeah, I'll do this.
So feel like you're just at a different...
Different stage of life now.
Aye.
I'm more mature, more grown up. I know what I'm wanting to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, it's never.
Good, mate.
Yeah.
Right, how do you feel about the theory tests?
It's funny you ask that. I remembered, because I didn't actually pass my theory first time.
Right.
It was my second attempt. What I didn't realise was you were able to get the full theory online. I had no idea. So I went in completely blind, and I was just like hitting randoms. And I was like, I missed out for like 2 points. So I felt gutted,
Aye.
you know what I mean? And then I was like, check online, see if there's something there that you can find. So I looked online, and that's the complete thing online.
Oh, the
answers and all.
Aye.
Questions, answers a lot. So I was like, right, I can do this. So I just sat and watched it 2 weeks straight, full thing. Went straight back up after booking it again, and I was in there 11 minutes and passed. That was
Wow.
it. Yeah.
When was that?
November. So 2 years this November.
2 years this November.
2 years this November.
Now, I know that I'm not your first instructor.
No.
Tell me how you found... you can or cannot
that's absolutely fine.
mention
Aye.
previous names, but how did you get on before coming over to us?
I had to speak to my wife. The previous instructor I had was an absolute bomb scare for me. Personally, I don't think he should have been a driving instructor.
Right.
From my own personal experience, he would show up and he would look like he hadn't slept at all.
Right.
And then when we're going out driving, I would be driving, be at the dual carriageway or wherever it may be, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing snoring, and I'm looking round and he's sleeping, and I'm like, what on earth?
That's scary.
You know, I don't think we're driving the scale anymore.
Right.
And I'm glad, to be honest with you, because I don't know if I'm the only people that it's happened with. I would imagine there's been others.
It wasn't just one time it happened.
No, I'd say 80% of the times I was out with them. It was happening, you know. And I think the scariest moment for me was, now I'd only been driving a matter of 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm still learning, you know, I'm still new to this. And we were on the dual carriageway, and the traffic comes to a stop, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing him just snoring, and I'm like, where are we going? You know, because there was no direction as to, is it left, is it right, are we going right round? There's absolutely no direction, so I'm just guessing, you know, to take the safest route.
Just choose your own route.
Choose my own route. You know, I had to do it in Cowdenbeath High Street as well. It took me around Cowdenbeath, areas I've never been in, you know, and it's like, right, we're going here. It would fall asleep. It's like narcolepsy.
Wow.
It's the only way I could describe it, you know, as somebody just falls asleep.
Is there 1 minute?
Yeah. And I was just like, no, you don't do that. So I got in contact with him. Well, I spoke to my wife. I was like, I can't do this. And I was at the point of giving up. You know, I couldn't trust him. And
It's not going to give you a lot of confidence.
Absolutely not. No, because, I mean, there was one instance, we were sitting in the car park, and I was doing reverse parking, you know, and we're looking through, obviously, sheets, you know, it's describing, right, this is what we're going to be doing, I want you to do this, so forth. It's like, right, fine, absolutely fine. And I'm starting the exercise, only for then in turn to hear him snore.
As fast as that.
And I look round, and I'm in the middle of a manoeuvre, and and I'm like, really? And I was just like, no, I'm done.
Time for a change.
And I said to Isla, I says, I need to find someone else. So Isla, I don't remember who it was she contacted, but she contacted a school, and the school recommended yourself.
Oh, it was a different school.
Aye.
Right, that's
it was
good.
a school that recommended yourself. And I'll be honest with you, it's the best thing that I could have done was come on board with yourself, because
nice.
my confidence since then to now has absolutely risen. Absolutely risen. I mean, I've got so much confidence in my ability. I'm so much happier, you know what I mean? And just, it was the best thing I could have done, because I'm how anybody could do anything with that other instructor.
Aye.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite scary. Tell me something that you've had a bit of bother with, or something in terms of learning to drive, right? It doesn't matter if it's been with me doing your lessons or someone else. Tell me some. What have you found the most difficult to master so far?
I think the initial start of the driving learning process for me has just been like spiral roundabouts.
Yes,
that's really been the only major issue I've found that I've had.
You're not alone. A lot of people have problems.
That's really about the only thing. It's the spiral roundabouts, because it's like, you know, you could be coming from one location, and then you've got to make sure you're in the correct section for whatever point you're turning off at.
Yes.
And it's like, wow, okay.
It's
and then obviously you've got your checks and things, and you've got so many different cars coming from so many different ways. It's like, shoot, am I in the right bit? Or but you know, it's learning. That is life, you know. And if you don't learn things, you're never going to learn. You know,
these spiral roundabouts that we have to do with you guys, and they put you on a test. It is a mixture between memorising what lane to get into for where you want to go, but I think that's impossible to memorise. You know,
I mean, it depends where you're driving as well. I mean, if you're used to one area, which obviously most of us are when we're learning within the area that we live in, you know, but when you're out with that area, you've got to kind of get used to it all again, but it's a different location, you know, so you've got to...
Yeah. You're wanting to try and understand how to read the signs on the road, which is impossible when they're worn
They're
off.
all worn off.
I don't envy you guys. I think it's a tricky thing to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be getting painted soon.
But how long does it last?
Now, I know that you're a drummer
Yes.
in a band, and I'm going to get onto that soon, right?
Okay.
But here's a question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What have you found harder, learning to play the drums or learning how to drive?
Excuse me. I think with the drums, I first got introduced to the drums through my granddad. My granddad was a jazz drummer.
Right.
He liked to play jazz. He loved jazz music. So he was always, when I was younger, you know, I had the wire brushes and that, and just sit and play. And we'd watch videos, you know, and I watched Buddy Rich with him. You know, Cozy Powell is my favourite drummer of all time. But I mean, I love watching Buddy Rich now, still to this day. You know, the guy was just phenomenal. But with the drums, I mean, yeah, I started playing at a young age. Then I stopped. I joined a band at 16. It was a cover band. It was all Metallica, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, you know, things like that, Alice in Chains. And then I come out of that because I was working, and I was like, I couldn't, you know, get the time to do that whilst work. So I just gave up with the drums, and then I went to college, done an HNC, and that's when I met Ross for the first time. That's the singer for the band.
It's in your band now?
Yeah. We done an HNC in music together, and we lost contact for a long time, and then I met him in 2012, and he asked me, he was like, you still, you know, playing drums? I was like, I've not picked up sticks for a long time because I hadn't. And he was like, well, we're looking for a drummer if you're interested. So he gave me a CD, and it was like 19 tracks on the CD. He was like, if you can listen to a few tracks on that, come down, see what's what. I think we managed to get through about 12 tracks, and it was like, are you interested? I was like, do you want me? I was like, aye. And so it's been since 2012, and I'm still with the guys yet.
And see, the learning, I mean, how did you realise that you could, I mean, right, let me think of the question I want to ask here, because I've always wondered this with drummers. Nobody's born a drummer, right?
No.
You've got to learn it.
Yeah.
Does that mean anyone can learn?
Well, I mean,
Or do you think it's...
I can't read music at all.
Right.
I cannot read music. I've tried, just boggles my mind. It's all, with me anyway, personally, it's all been through listening and watching drummers, you know, asking advice, but it's mainly been listening and watching. I recently started playing double bass.
Right.
I only started that maybe about 2 years ago, and because I just couldn't fathom it initially, you know, and I was like, I'd like to try something different. And I started playing double bass, and I feel so much more comfortable now, rather than just the one pedal. I've got the two pedals going now, and it's so much fun.
I imagine there's similarities to learning the drums and learning to drive. Rhythm and coordination.
Rhythm coordination, aye. I mean, when you're driving, you've got both your feet, you've got your hands, and you've got everything round about you. It's the same with your drums. You're using both your feet, both your hands. You've got your cymbals, you've got your rack toms, your floor toms, etc. So that's, I would say it's pretty much the same. Aye.
A lot of similarities. I find that when people they'll tell me they're a dancer or you know, that kind of thing, I always think, right, that'll help with it. We're learning to drive. So you've not sat your driving test yet?
No.
Thinking ahead to the test, if I was to say, what are you dreading the most? Would it still be spirals, or would it be something else that you dread?
I think, with being a learner just now, I think the only thing that infuriates me or annoys me is you get a lot of people out there that are obviously through their tests, and when I'm looking in the rearview mirror and you see they're right at your backside,
like other drivers on the road.
yeah, in general, I think if other people, other road users were to say, well, we've got a learner in front of us, let's give them space, that would be appreciated.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
That's the only thing I would say.
It's a shame that people forget they were.
We've all got to learn at some stage of our life. I mean, people do it at different stages in life. You know, look at me. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm just learning. You know, but I mean, say that's a 17, 18-year-old. Can you imagine how they would feel? You know, I mean, their nerves are already shot. You know, and if they've got somebody at their backside, what happens? They suddenly break. Or any learner, you know, bang, they're right into your backside. And that's the only thing, that's the only issue I have. Roads
are scary.
Backside. Yeah, absolutely.
Roads are a scary place to be sometimes, but it wouldn't be so bad if people were nicer, if people were more patient.
Aye. It just seems nowadays that the world is moving so fast. You know, people are moving at 100 miles an hour. Yeah. You know, it's now. There's no, let's step back. Let's just relax. Let's enjoy what we've got in front of us.
Everyone's in a hurry.
You know, it's just like everybody's at a million miles an hour. And it's like, why?
Everyone's in a hurry.
Why?
If you had the power to make a change to how the driving test is, what would you change about it?
To be honest, I don't think I would change anything. I think keep it as is. I mean, now I think compared to how a lot of people drive, I wonder how a lot of them have got their license.
How they passed.
I think absolutely keep it as is.
The reason I asked that is years ago we were at a meeting and they spoke about this. Maybe what they'll do is get the driver instructor who sees you every week, who sees your skills, knows your weaknesses, and you know they know you. The examiners just get to see 40 minutes of the most nerve-wracking part of your day. You know, so is that going to be the best performance that you're able to do? Maybe not, just with nerves and stuff. Whereas we get to see the real you and what you're. So I remember them speaking about maybe like having the driving instructor have the power to sign you off on different elements of the test, so that there was less for you to do with the real, you know. Yeah. But I can't see it ever happening.
I don't understand why. I mean, as you say, I mean, you guys are the ones that are seeing what obviously us pupils are trying to do and provide, you know, to the best of our abilities. And for someone just to come in and sit for 40 minutes and say, I mean, I think you guys should definitely say.
I guess the reason they've never done it is I can only imagine that they would be scared that, you know, you'd be signing off your friends, or I don't know, there'd be bribes left, right and centre, you know. But
surely anybody worth their salt isn't going to just go, there you go. Because could you live with yourself, if you say, as you say, if it was a friend, right, and you knew, right, they can drive to a degree, but they're not 100%, and then never to go out and cause a major accident, you couldn't live with yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're not doing them a favour by signing them off and saying they're ready if they're not.
I mean, it makes a lot more sense to maybe take 20, 30, 40, whatever it may be, lessons, right, to make sure that you yourself are indeed safe. You are capable. You're not going to be a nuisance. You're not going to cause any unwanted hurt, you know. Driving instructors want that for their pupils. They don't want them to say, all right, there's 10 lessons, right, on you go. Run up the road at 100 miles an hour. No one wants that.
I would hate to hear...
No one wants that.
That someone who trained and got them through the test, I'd hate to hear that they've soon after when, you know,
Yeah.
been hurt or worse.
Absolutely.
Right. Thinking about after the test, right? A bit of positive manifestation here, right? What's your dream car?
I've never actually thought about that.
Have you not?
I've always thought about my dream drum kit. This time a star class, that would be lovely. But I've got a Mapex Mars 6-piece just now, so that's nice. Dream car.
Dream car. Would have to be big enough to get the drums in the back. Or would that be like a van that you'd have
Well, the
separate?
Cortina's at the window, and my dad had a Cortina 1.6 gear. I remember this car was lovely. That was one of the first cars that my dad had, was the Cortina. I don't know, actually. It would definitely need to be something to get a drum kit in.
Aye.
So I would like to go back, maybe get a Peugeot 8007. Because you could take the back seats at, it was a van, so you could take the seats out and get the drum kit in, and you still got loads of seats at the front. Yeah, that would be cool.
Nice. So you've got your dream car, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your first solo drive going to be? Just you in the car.
I would like to go up and see my cousin, Sheree, up in Inverness.
Inverness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's an absolute diamond. She's a fighter. Yeah, I'd like to go up and see her.
And it would be extra special driving yourself there.
Aye. Yeah. She's like me. She likes her rock and her metal, and it would be nice just to get her in the car, go down to a wee concert together, and just
Nice.
have fun.
Good.
Yeah, we did speak about it. I took my daughter to see Slipknot last year. There, that was her first time in seeing them.
Aye.
And Sheree was supposed to be, but she couldn't get through. So yeah, it would be nice if I was able to get a gig with Sheree.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Definitely.
Right, thinking outside the car, you're in a band. It's obvious you're in a band. Look at you.
What's the giveaway? The t-shirt probably.
No points for guessing, like what you do. You're in a band. Tell me, what's the name of your band?
The Starry Wisdom Cult.
The Starry Wisdom Cult.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
And how long have you been formed as a band?
The band formed in the late 90s initially, and that was due to Simon and Ross. They're the founding members of the band, and they're still within the band yet. That's my lead guitarist and my vocalist / guitarist. It was 98, 99, I think the band initially formed. And they've had several lineup changes over the years. I joined in 2012, I think it was February 2012, I want to say. And then Badger, that's our bass player.
Badger, the bass player.
He joined later on the same year. I think he was March, April. The same year, and this has been the consistent lineup since 2012.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's been your favourite gig that you've done?
Wow. Jeez, try to think. I've played quite a few crackers actually. Personally, for me, my favourite band to play with is a band from Aberdeen called Deadfire.
Right.
Absolutely love the guys. Such a good band, so tight. How they're not signed to a major label is beyond me.
What kind of genre?
Just rock,
Right.
sheer rock and roll. You know what I mean? The singer Charlie is massively influenced by Motorhead. Bands like that, Black Sabbath, like ourselves. Just such a lovely bunch of guys. They're definitely one of my favourite bands to play with.
Nice.
Deadfire.
What's the biggest audience you've played in front of?
I think I want to say Beermageddon. It's a festival down in England. It's down in Stoke Prior. Played down there in 2014. And it was just incredible. You know, it's just basically it's a country club. It's a country club down in Stoke Prior. So everybody camps for the weekend, 55 quid for the weekend. Right. That's including your camping and everything, you know what I mean? And you're getting like 20 bands for all over Europe, you know. And I mean, that year we played with Onslaught. They were the headline band that year.
Right.
And I mean, Onslaught they're big.
Aye.
You know, they're a big band. And yeah, to be on the same stage as Onslaught was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Cy Keeler, he's just such a lovely guy. You know, we were sitting chatting at the back of the room as other bands were on. It was just such a lovely guy. I mean, he's no with the band anymore.
Hi guys, have you been in a car accident that wasn't your fault? If you have, before you phone your insurance company, let me introduce you to Complete Accident Solutions Scotland, or CAS for short, our trusted podcast sponsor.
In an awful crash, don't you stress. Get it sorted fast with CAS. If you're in a crash, call CAS. If you're in a crash, call CAS. If you're in a crash, call CAS. Call us today on 0800.
So if you're ever in a non-fault accident, just remember Complete Accident Solutions Scotland has your back. Visit complete-accident-solutions.co.uk or call 0800 644 0174 for free impartial advice. All right, guys, thank you. Now back to the podcast. What's more nerve-wracking? Waiting for me to come and pick you up for you to drive the car on a lesson, or just before you go out and start a gig?
I think, see, when you're up on stage, I think because I'm behind the drums, there's only like a certain amount that you can actually see in front of you. You're maybe seeing like 2 rows of people.
Right, okay.
Because obviously all the lights are on you, you know, so it isn't too bad. But as soon as you see that crowd before the lights, it's like, you know, it's like your butt is, you know, it's going 10 out of a dozen. But no, it's a great rush.
Aye.
I mean, I absolutely love it. I would not change it. I absolutely love it.
I've tried playing the drums. I can't. But if I've been asked this before, if I had to do like another job other than what I do,
yeah,
I'd love to be a drummer. I watch videos of drummers on YouTube. You know, there's like reaction videos and other people watch them. Yeah. Man, I just love watching.
I mean, the one I've been watching recently is El Estipario Cipriano.
Oh, the dude with the beard, man.
He's so good, you know. But then you've got another guy. He goes under the name of Seamus 666. That guy's so good as well, and it's just like, wow, just watching these guys, you know. And I'm like, it's like, wow. You know, I mean, I don't see myself as any great. I just go out there and do it. I have fun. And if you're having fun, that's all that matters, you know. I'm not up there just to go, oh, look at me and my big balls. No, it's just, let's go and have fun. If you're up there, it's like driving, you know, when it stops being fun, don't do it, you know. And I'm at a stage, I'm absolutely loving it, you know, and I'm more than happy to be doing this for the next however.
And what's when it comes to like new albums and writing new material and stuff, do you, as a band, do you do it, you know, together? Is it a sort of
music wise? Yeah, we do. We'll sit and we'll jam, you know, riffs, we'll jam ideas. And generally what will happen is Simon, whilst we're jamming, Simon will maybe have bits of ideas lyric wise, and then we'll sit it down, you know, write it down. And Ross has got bits, I've got bits. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, 90% of the writing comes from Simon, you know, because that man's mind is phenomenal. He's got a great creative mind, you know, whereas with myself, I can put down the drums, you know, ideas. You know, we can work together, and that's great. Aye.
And you've got a gig coming up soon. So this, I don't know when this podcast will go out, but what day are we on today? Thursday.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, you guys are at the Rosyth Gala.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be there in the crowd with my wee man. I was saying, I know the drummer.
I'll be hiding.
Aye, that's his heat.
You'll see my hair and that's it.
Have you had any embarrassing moments on stage?
Actually, quite a few. I remember first ever big gig. Well, I wouldn't say big gig, but when I first got with a band, when I was 16, the band called Warped, as I was saying, and we're a cover band. And my bass player at the time, I'm sure his dad was running the venue, and it was Bohol Club. We were 15, 16, you know what I mean? So we were getting free drinks, you know what I mean?
Bonus.
Before the gig. Didn't dare I was 16 years old, you know, because they absolutely tore the backside of it. Being the drummer, you know, my bass player comes out and I'm sitting at the front and I'm 3 sheets to the wind. And this is before we played. And I remember the gig because we were the first band on. There was another band called Purple Fudge.
Purple Fudge?
Purple Fudge. And it was Shackled. Right, I believe the boys were from Logelly at the time, or the drummer was in Logelly living at the time, and that was back in 90. Let me think, 98, 97, 98. Sorry, I think round about then. So I'm 3 sheets to the wind, and my bass player's like, "We need to go up and play this gig." I was like, "Aye, I'll go to the toilet," and I ended up blocking the sink. You know what I mean? My bass player's got my drumsticks trying to unblock this. I threw up everywhere. Went up, played the gig, come off the stage, and I'm like that.
Tremendous.
Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. But it was good fun.
Aye.
It was good fun. But we played a gig with my band now up at Cody's not too long ago, and I just put new skins on my snare drum, tuned it all up, blah, 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 blah. 3 songs in, my snare burst. And I still continue to play, you know what I mean? I was like, well, I can't stop mid-song. You know, there's absolutely no way I'm doing that. So I continue to play. I think I played with a burst snare for like 2 songs. And then I have to shout to the promoter, turn my snare drum over, and big massive hole in the snare. I was like, oh shit.
Damn.
And I managed to finish the set, but we cut the set short because my guitarist was not well that night anyway. But we managed to pull off a good set, regardless of, you know, the cymbal stands falling about me. Every time I was hitting a cymbal, the stands would fall, my snare burst, you know, my guitarist was ill, and we still went up and put on a
all
decent
odds.
show.
Aye.
Against all odds. Everything was against us that night.
Aye.
Seriously, I was like, wow. But, you know, I was still smiling, and you've got to be professional. You know, if things are happening, then just get up and walk. Just remain calm and do your best with what you've got.
Where do you see what's the future for the band?
Personally, I'd love for Simon more than anything, because he's been through absolute hell, you know, and he's still fighting on, you know. I'd love for the band to be successful, you know, maybe get that wee bit more recognition, you know, out with, you know.
Where can people, like, are you on social networks? I know you're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube and that. Ross is supposed to be getting the other aspects of the band set up, you know, music wise, because he's been talking about that. So, I mean, we've just recently done another EP there as well, and we're currently writing new material as we speak.
Well,
so
do you
there
know-
will be new stuff coming out.
When this goes live, I'll put details of your band up and where people can find you, contact you, where they can watch your stuff on YouTube. So I'll get all that information and stick it on.
Thank you.
So outside of the car and outside of the band, you're married,
Yep.
kids,
Yep.
grandkids,
Yep.
stepkids, the lot.
Yep. The whole 69 yards.
What's your hobbies outside of music and
I used to love drawing, painting. I've not done that for a while though. Huh? So everything now, since my wife's stroke, I'm basically at home
right?
helping her.
Aye.
Yeah.
Is that your happy place?
My happy place is behind my drums.
Aye.
Aye, that's my happy place. But no, I mean I'm happy at home.
Nice.
But my happy place is my drums, definitely, because I've got my drum kit at home as well.
Aye.
So between being at home and in the studio,
Aye.
that's me.
Brilliant.
That's me. Yeah.
Right. We're going to play a game. Now, on the wheel of destiny that you can see there,
Yeah.
I've got loads of different games. Whatever one it lands on, we're going to
We're
play.
gonna play. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Here we go.
I spy a big fat lie.
5 quick rounds. 2 tales to weigh. One is real, the other is nay. Listen close, give it a try. It's time to spy the big fat lie. Only on the Driving Drivel podcast.
The production value of these slides, I'll tell you.
I've seen worse.
1.
So, how this works is I'm going to read out 2 statements. One of them's true, one of them isn't.
All right.
And for our listeners, I'm going to read them out. So, number 1 then. At a learner driver's request, I once accompanied them to B&M in a totally different town to buy 60 cans of cat food during their lesson. Is that true? Or is it this one? Whilst on a break, a lady entered my car thinking I was a taxi, giving me her address, and it was too awkward to correct her, so I simply drove her to her house. Which, and by the way, feel free to ask and dig into this and ask questions.
Wow.
You've got to decide which is the lie.
I would have to say A.
You think A is the lie?
I think so.
A
Wow.
is true. This was
Really?
this was a lot of years ago. The guy was doing lessons in his own car, and first I don't know. So he wanted me to go to Kirkcaldy Retail Park.
Was this with yourself?
Aye.
Really?
One of my learners. Aye. And he says to me, he says, "Can we do?" He said something like, "Can we practice dual carriageways the day?"
Aye.
And I had said, "Yeah, of course, aye." I says,
Yeah.
"We'll go into the A92." He says, "Can we go towards Kirkcaldy area?" And I says, "Yeah, we could. And I says, "We could go up there and turn and come back." He
See,
says,
when
"But-"
you went to the retail park?
he says, "See, when we're in Kirkcaldy, is there any chance we could nip into B&M?" I says, "I can't remember at the time if we had a B&M closer, or if this was the only one that sold what he needed." But they sold this cat food that it was only this food that his cat ate.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, well, okay, we'll nip in. And so during his lesson, I'm in, and it was individual tins, not like multi packs. It was all these wee individual tins. So I'm helping him scan them, beep beep 60 times. True story of that. The other one, it didn't happen to me, right? So it is technically a lie. But one of my other instructors it happened to.
Wow.
So when I was making up these slides, I was trying to think of things that were like false to go with the.
Yeah.
And he had told me, he says this happened, and he just took her to her house, and I don't know, that was a weird one, eh?
Wow. That's wow. Wow.
So there's 5 of these. That's number 1, right? Here's number 2.
2.
So, is this true or is this lie? Whilst driving on a motorway, I spilled coffee all over the gearbox. Luckily, the car had a self-driving mode, which meant I could clean up the mess whilst the car done all the driving. Or is this true? I was running late for someone's lesson, and it was her 17th birthday, and it was going to be her first ever lesson. And
I'm going to have to go with B on this one.
You think it's B?
I think it's B.
Well, what happened with B is I used voice control whilst driving to send a text, but instead of sending "I'll be arriving late," it sent "I'll be arriving naked."
I'm going to have to go with B on this one.
You think it's B that's true?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's a lie. No, the motorway thing's true. I was heading up to Ketley on the motorway, and I had drank coffee and I spilt it.
Wow.
And it went
Everywhere.
I went everywhere. And the car that I've got has this self-driving. You can push the button and just leave it,
Right.
and it'll steer for you and it'll keep its distance, and it's pretty reliable.
Oh, nice. See, I see yourself, you've got your self-driving buses and things like that. Just didn't.
A lot of people don't trust them.
I don't trust that system. That's, it's a computer. Computers are known to fail. It's
So are humans,
yeah. Aye.
and humans have got their flaws that
Yeah.
the car doesn't, and vice versa. So
I don't think because you got your self-driving cars and your buses, and I don't know how I'd feel about that. That's
with that car, right, you can jump in onto the motorway, get going, push the button, you can take your hands off the wheel, take your feet off, and it will do a great job for you, right? Every now and again there'll be a wee warning message that comes up saying, "Hey, get your hands back on the
your
wheel."
hands in the wheel. Yeah.
So every time you touch it, it's like, "Thanks," and then you can take it off again. Maybe there's a little hack where you can put something on the wheel that it thinks is your hands. I'm not saying I do that. I'm just saying maybe.
See with your self-driving cars, right? Here's a question. Now, what happens, say, for instance, somebody's got a self-driving car. They decide, right, we're going to take it, going to go out one night, right? We're going to meet up with the lads, have a few drinks, and you get tanked, right? Then you decide, wait, no, I've got a self-driving car, I'll program it in to go back home, but I sit in the back of the car.
See,
And if the police pull you over,
we're not there yet.
that's...
We're not there yet. But, like, see right now, in America, they, like in Austin, Texas, they're probably in California and everywhere, but in Austin, they're trialing proper driverless cars. Like, there's not even someone in the back. And the technology is there, and they must have the regulatory approval that we are probably years away. Our government is a bunch of donkeys. We are years away from getting that kind of stuff.
It's quite scary though when you think it's like watching iRobot all over again. It's scary. I mean, just
think about where we've come from in the last 50 years, and now we've got all this stuff.
Aye, absolutely.
Well, mate, so far out of the two, you're 0 for 2 getting the. Here's number 3.
Right.
3.
So, whilst driving a buggy around a wet golf course, I got a bit too confident going down a hill, braked too hard, spun around and flipped it over. Is that true? Or is it this one? I was given a brand new Mercedes for 2 weeks as a thank you for setting up some printers in an office. Which is true and which is the lie?
I'm going to have to go A because I know you play golf.
You think A is true?
I think so. Oh, crying out loud.
You are 0 for 3, my guy.
Yeah, wow.
No.
Well, I know you play golf, so I thought,
do.
well, that's,
I do play golf, and I do often get a buggy, but I have yet to crash a buggy. I came close once, going down a hill, and I did. That is inspired by something that almost happened, but didn't.
Right, okay.
But the one on the right is true. Years ago, I worked in a bank, and I've always been sort of geeky and techie minded, and I'd done this thing with the printers, and they had thought it saved money and time and whatever.
Yeah.
And they had this reward thing, so I got this
Right. Nice.
SLK convertible
Nice.
2 litre.
My brother used to have an AMG. That was really nice.
This was a nice car.
Yeah.
I actually seen one in a garage recently, and it was like, I could afford it. And I was like, I'm at that stage of my life where I should go and buy.
The midlife crisis.
Aye. But I didn't. Right, number 4.
Hopefully I got one right. Yeah.
4.
Okay, is this true? My learner stalled at traffic lights a few times and a horn sounded from the back. Annoyed, I went to the car and ranted about how he should be more patient. He let me finish and simply said, "It wasn't me, son, it was the car behind."
I'm going to go A. I remember you talking to me about this.
Have I told you this one, have I?
Yes. Aye.
B, well, I'll give you the option anyway. B, in a previous tuition car, the steering wheel had been gradually getting looser and looser. One day, Elena was reversing around the corner when it came fully detached from the car in his
I'm
hands.
going to go A. I remember you talking to me about that.
A, final answer, you think it's true?
Aye. I remember you talking to me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, actually. I've probably told folk these stories in the car.
I've got one right. Hey.
Right, are you ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, you've got to
5.
find the truth, find the lie. Whilst driving a hire car on honeymoon in Corfu, I took the wrong turn that Google Maps suggested and ended up driving along the edge of a cliff on a path meant for donkeys. And B, whilst the learner was practicing parallel parking, a man came out, gave me abuse for using his car. It had been a long day. Things escalated to us arguing over who had the most expensive car. Tell me which one is true and which is the lie.
I'm going to have to go with A on this one.
You think A is true or A is false?
I think B's a bit far-fetched.
Your final answer?
Yeah. Really?
B.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It had been a long day, and
Wow.
some guy came out, and he actually, to be fair, he was quite nice, and he had just sort of asked me politely why everyone kept using his car, as in all the driving schools. So I politely said, "Well, it's part of the test routes. We try and get people familiar with blah 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 blah." And
What did he mean by using his car?
just where his car was parked on the road, it was a common route that us learners use. You know, quiet street, a
Do you
quiet
think
road.
he was maybe scared in case had it get damaged
Yeah.
by a learner?
Well, actually, he was nice enough, but his wife was standing at the door, and when she had witnessed, she had obviously sent him out, and because he wasn't giving me a hard time at the beginning, she's like,
Yeah.
and eventually started saying, "Well, you know, can you maybe do this somewhere else or something?"
Yeah.
And anyway, as I say, it had been a long day.
Yeah.
I had assured him, I says, "I'm not going to let my learner
anything
damage."
happen.
You know,
Yeah, of
I says, "I
course.
don't want to damage my car."
Yeah.
He says, "But this is my car's an £18,000, and I says, "Right, you want to play that game? Mine costs more than that anyway."
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got to learn, as I've said before, you know.
Aye.
And if you're learning parking exercises, whatever, you need to have cars to be able to say, right, this is what I've got to gauge, this is what I've got to work with, you know.
Some people.
Some people, yeah.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much, mate.
Thanks for having me, Gary.
For coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the very best with the band.
We've been meaning to do this very well, but things have obviously, happened, and it's like, right, we'll reschedule it, and we're finally here now. So
We're finally here, mate.
Absolutely.
All the very best of the band. I'll share your information and links for people to watch. But I hope all goes well with the gala.
I hope so.
I'll be there.
It's going to be different. It's nice to be asked. I'll be honest with you. When we got asked, I was like, oh wow. But I mean, it was Michael that asked us. He's the guy that produced our records.
Right.
Because this substation, that's obviously it's their gear that's getting used for the gala. And it was Michael. It was like, you fancy it? And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, again, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you
And,
very much.
We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Come on again.